I'll go long. I'll go long. Welcome back to Investing with Confidence, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. If you're just tuning in, we were talking about some strategies on short-term income strategies on the last segment with futures, forex, options, opportunities to trade at night. So regular investors, 9-to-5ers, have the opportunity to have that second income strategy in the evening. If you did miss tickets for the investing class that we do locally, I teach these, Al teaches these as well. We have local academies. So if you're listening to the show, get your phone ready. We have a class near you. We have classes all across the world. But you can text right now. Text the word investing to the number 210-210. That's text investing to the number 210-210 for 2 tickets and a quick start kit that will help you get started right away. And as that we were talking about in that last segment, and I made sure not to forget, is I wanted to talk about the concept of doing your analysis, setting your trade, and letting it work for you. Basically, you don't have to be there to execute your trade. So I want to talk about that a little bit on how that concept actually works, because we do have a lot of listeners, heck, that work during the day, and they want to be able to have the opportunity to still have trades and investments going, but let the computer do the work for them. And I don't want to call it set it and forget, because some people say that's not the right thing to say. It's kind of silly, but it's a set and forget strategy. So let's talk about that, Al. So what is that concept, and how does it actually work for an investor to place their trade or investment, and how does it actually do it for you? Like, explain how that works.
Okay. Well, the great thing for us, Josh, is that technology has really come to our rescue. The software that the brokerage firms have will allow you to, as we say, preset a trade, so you know in advance that you have an entry price that you have chosen based on a strategy that's going to give you the greatest opportunity to succeed with that entry price.
That was a tough word there for you.
Well, it shouldn't have been, but succeed. There you go.
There you go.
With the greatest profit potential and the least amount of risk. And then you can have that already set within the broker's software. The software then does the work for you. So, yeah, we're not telling you can set something and then just forget about it forever, but you can set it, you can walk away and feel comfortable or confident that you're okay. Because if you're wrong, you're out with a very small loss. And if you're right, you're out with your profit being protected. And if you're right, you're in at the right entry price, which is going to give you the greatest opportunity of being successful. And that's important. It's probably the one thing that Wall Street really kind of ignores is the right price to get into something. If you go into an advisor with an amount of money, whatever that is, they're going to tell you that the important thing is getting in the market.
And why is that?
Well, because they get their fees the sooner you go into the market.
That 4-letter F word.
But they're really not paying attention to that price. And that can have a huge impact. If you get in, let's just say that back in 2007, you put a portfolio together right near the end of 2007, just before the market went down 57%.
How about better yet? Let's just say you put a portfolio together back in December of 2022. Sorry, 2021.
Or 2020 when the pandemic hit in February of 2020. You put a portfolio together. Immediately you're down 34%. It takes work for your portfolio to recoup what you just lost. And remember that whatever you were down, whatever percent you were down, you have to be up a higher percent just to get back to where you were.
Yeah.
Example, if you're down 50%, your portfolio or your asset has to come back up 100% just to get back to where it was. So there's at least at the least amount of pain there is you're losing time. And the greatest amount of pain is that you've lost some money, and maybe you decide to sell so you don't lose anymore. That's where your emotions get involved. And I think you mentioned I don't know if you mentioned in the first segment something about your brain or your emotions. If you let your brain get involved, you're going to have a battle going on that's going to really destroy your ability to be successful. You're going to be considering, what if the Fed does this? What if the economy does this? What if it doesn't go up? What if I lose? All those things are really detrimental to your being able to do this with confidence. So what we do is show you how to do it with following a set of rules that's part of our core strategy, and then know that you don't have to sit in front of a computer. In fact, that's the worst thing you can do. You should not be watching what your investment is doing on a regular basis, or that battle is going to take over and you lose that battle.
Yeah, or it can be pretty boring too. But the whole aspect of trading and investing, and I would assume, just assuming here, the goal for most people is to be able to let them have the opportunity to live the life that they choose to live, not spending time for hours, not working and having an hourly job. And then when you have an investment account, it's having your money work for you and being able to have the opportunity to set your analysis and do it and set your trade and walk away from it, let it work for you. That takes the emotions out of trading and investing. That's what's phenomenal about the market that most people don't understand. And you really dive into a lot of that concept in the investing class that you teach here locally. It's about a 2-hour class, and going through how that actually works, how it works to set up a trade and let it work for you. Basically put the steps in place. You're protected on both ends. You want it to move, and it's going to go some way. It doesn't matter which way, because you put that small risk and high reward. That way you don't even need to be right every single time. So you talk about that a lot in these investing classes. So we have a lot of people texting in today. It's been crazy, asking about how do we get started? How do we learn these different techniques and strategies? Well, get your phones ready. I'm going to do a text line here for texters, number 1 through 10. When you text in now, you're going to receive 2 tickets for this investing class locally. Also, a quick start kit that actually includes some free stock picks. So text the word investing to the number 210-210. That's text investing to the number 210-210 for 2 tickets and the free stock picks. So you brought up that 4-letter F word, Al, and its fees. And I know we got about a few minutes here. Talk a little bit about, removing or at least lowering fees in retirement accounts, because I think a lot of people are seeing right now, they're losing 2 ways right now in the market. If they have a 401k or IRA, they're losing to the market.
Right.
And there's still a hand in that cookie jar. It's called your broker. It's called your advisor. That's still taking money out of there, so it's amplifying those losses. How do you minimize fees?
Yeah, the broker's fees are being paid regardless of whether the market's going up or down or sideways flat, for example. So the brokers win 3 out of 3 ways. Basically, you are winning only 1 out of 3 ways unless you know how to use the right strategies and assets. And in these classes, Josh, you mentioned a lot of people don't know what these strategies are. Well, there may be a strategy that's right for you that might be different for the person that's sitting next to you. And that's part of what we do in these classes, to help you identify what the right assets are, the right strategies are for you, and that's all put into a plan that is specific to you, to your uniqueness. But when you talk about fees, the fees, I think people just assume, well, there's a cost to do something. I'm okay with that. Well, remember, if your broker is taking out money, if you have a mutual fund, the mutual fund's taking money out, that's all money that's no longer there to compound for you and grow for you. So one of the most important things you can do is to eliminate fees. You can do that by self-directing, or maybe even within your 401k or 403b, there may be assets in there, choices that you have that have lower fees. And there are going to always be assets there that are maybe outperforming others. So once you learn a strategy like our core strategy, you can trade within your 401k and maybe have the potential to increase the returns. The things that people used to rely on are not going to be what is going to give you the greatest potential going forward. A lot of people have used index funds, for example, and that's what they've used. Well, the index funds, if you have an S&P 500 index fund, the majority, the biggest makeup of it is technology. Which group has taken the biggest hit this year? Technology. What's the smallest makeup? It's energy. What group has had the biggest returns this year? It's energy. So you're maybe participating in something that isn't giving you the best opportunity, whereas if you know the right strategies, you can be more specific about what you're using and have an opportunity to always participate in what might be outperforming.
Yeah, I just want to bring up something because I think it's important for our listeners to understand and really not fall down that trap. As you mentioned, well, we hear this all the time. Yeah, I got a broker and, they take a little bit of money out of there, but I'm okay with that. Who's okay with just giving somebody money to hold something for you? It just doesn't make any sense, but everybody's been conditioned and trained to think that's okay. Well, that's not okay. That's your hard-earned money. You may have worked, as Elle talks about every single week, 20, 30, 40, 50 years to accumulate that. Why just have somebody taking that from you to just put you in an investment that's just sitting there anyway, where you could have the opportunity to do that yourself? Don't be in that camp of, I'm okay with that, because it's not okay. That's your money. Learn how to do that yourself. I know in the next segment, I want to talk about how to actually set up your self-directed account yourself. But we have a lot of people that want to minimize those fees. We have tickets for investing classes to see those concepts and techniques, to have the opportunity to lower or maybe even eliminate fees in retirement accounts. Get your phones ready. Text the word investing right now. So text investing to the number 210-210 for 2 free tickets for an investing class to learn more about minimizing fees. Coming up next, we're going to talk about that self-directed account, more retirement accounts, and more what's happening in these markets, opportunities moving forward. This is Josh and Al. We will be right back.